Today, let's take a break from the actual painting and see if there's a way that we can make our hobbying easier and more comfortable. My painting area in my study competes for room with my computer and my other hobbies. Plus, I travel every now and then with work, so I'm always looking for ways to try and make my setup easier and to bring my hobby with me on the go. Now I'm pretty excited. I can't do it all on my own, and for the first time, I'm going to be joined by one of my little helpers. We'll use an assumed identity for privacy. Welcome to the channel.
My name is Krydrufi.
Excellent, so I'll be joined by Krydrufi today as we test the Krydrufi all-in-one modular art box and see if it can help us out. A disclaimer from the start though, the team over at Krydrufi were kind enough to send me a copy of the modular art box for me to have a look at and give my honest feedback as they prepare to launch the product on Kickstarter. So let's take a look. Okay, so up the top I have a detachable water tank. Now the added benefit here is these don't look like coffee cups. So in theory, I won't find myself drinking from them.
Dad!
Each of the detachable water containers comes with a few extra items. There's a rubber pad that goes down the bottom to help you clean your brush. Then there's a few of these brush holders. Place one on the inside and your brush can sit in the water and stay wet. Or you can attach one to the outside and let your brush air dry.
Did you say cool off?
No, I didn't say anything actually.
Shame.
Then into the next modular section, there's a few components that are the same, but they have varying uses. So up the top, I have storage, which I'm using to keep some paintbrushes in. And then one below, I'm using as a wet palette. Below these, two sections, which you can use to store your paints. They boast being able to keep your paints wet or damp for 60 days, so you can continue to paint with them. And they can also act as another bit of storage for you. I'd probably use it as our bits for our Space Marine models. We've seen what it looks like and what it can achieve in theory, but what do you reckon, Krydrufi?
Let's take it for a spin and do some painting.
That's a great idea. It's a public holiday long weekend, and with mum at work and the boys at home, it means it's a perfect day for painting. What are we painting today?
Lizard men.
Lizard men! And do you remember where these models are from?
They were from the Stegodon box, which we painted in a different video, so if you haven't seen that, go and check it out.
What a plug, I love it. Alright, so I've been using this today with Krydrufi while we paint, but what do I really think? Well, there's so many different products that promise you the world, but I'm always in the market for something simple that will make my hobby life easier. I'm glad that the system is modular because I won't always have a use for each of the compartments. The two largest sections down the bottom to be used for long-term paint storage, I probably won't need all the time because my paints are small enough that I'll be able to just sit them in the top and then use them on the wet palette as a one and done. But I'm glad that I have these because this can act as storage for me for little smaller parts, like for my Space Marines for their bits, for while I'm building and painting those on the road. So when will I genuinely use this though? Well, if I'm heading over to a mate's place to paint, this is perfect. I can throw the items in that I need with the compartments that I want and take it with me. But also, if the kids want to do some painting, I can set them up at the kitchen table with their own compartments each so they each have a wet palette and they're looked after. The other time though, which I'm genuinely excited about, is if I'm going on a work trip or we're going on a small family holiday, this takes up no room. I can absolutely justify putting this in my luggage and taking it on the road with us. So my final thoughts on the Krydrufi. Does it work as intended? Yeah, absolutely. Will I use it? I genuinely will. But is it worth the cost? I didn't even look at the price first and I asked myself what I would be willing to pay for it, and I sat at around $30 to $35 US. Well, on launch day of the Kickstarter, it turns out this will be sold for $25 US, and their Kickstarter, speaking of which, launches on the 16th of November. One of the last things I'll speak about for the modular art box is how annoying I am as a hobbyist to buy gifts for. My wife constantly tells me that I'm a nightmare because if there's a new model that I want, well, I've already pre-ordered it. As far as paints and brushes go, I have my favorites and I already own them. So if there's a hobbyist in your life that you're looking for a gift for and you're not sure what to get them, then why not step outside the box and get them something that just makes their hobby life easier. You can consider something like the Krydrufi to help make their hobbying more comfortable. If you are interested, I'll pin a link below which will take you to the Krydrufi Kickstarter page so that you can check it out. But thank you so much to Groover for painting with me.
It's okay, it was fun. I liked it.
Awesome. We'll have more painting videos on the way, including a festive season collaboration, which should be really entertaining. But until then, and until next time, if you'll excuse me.